For the most part, starting off on a good foot and making sure you're following all the rules anyways, it obviously reduces the possibility for suspension. Not making random changes to your GPB as much as possible.
If you're thinking about starting a pressure washing business, but you want to learn more about the equipment, mixing chemicals, how to clean every surface on a residential job site, property protection, and much, much more, check out the How to Wash course. It'll be the first link in the comment section and the description.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Lean and Mean Academy, where we talk about one truck, big profits. I'm bringing you guys back to the state of the Google My Business address. Google has been acting wild for the last year, almost 2 years, and I like to do frequent updates, maybe monthly, for you guys with my boy Chris Lonergan over at Footbridge Media. Let's talk about it. Chris, how you doing?
Doing good. How are you doing, Aaron?
Excellent, dude. So I love getting these updates from you, figuring out what you guys are over there masterminding, figuring out when it comes to the service businesses that you guys build the websites for and Google My Businesses that you run for those guys, right? Because Google is wild. Tell me in a sentence, how's it been?
Part of Google has been a little bit chaotic recently. I think everyone who's, from the customer side of things to our side of things, working with Google has always been difficult. It's just a little bit more difficult even right now. Recently, we've seen some, even compared to the last year, some pretty major increases in some difficulty when working with Google.
Excellent. Well, I've always known them to be difficult anyway, but I can't imagine the weight that you guys are bearing right now. Guys, listen, before we jump into this, if you're looking to get a professional site built like mine, like a lot of the guys in the inner circle, a lot of guys who are having these top performing sites, look, I'm not going to tell you it's going to happen overnight, but the best team in the game for a website build, if you're a contractor, whether it's HVAC, pressure washing, plumbing, go down the list, landscaping, is Footbridge Media. I'll put a link in the description, link in the comments to the $199 deal. You can only get it here at the Lean and Mean Academy, so you got to mention my name if you want to get the $199. Otherwise, you're going to be paying another $600 a year. All right, so get them to build your website. Chris, I think I've had you guys building my site for what, 6 years, 5 years now, something like that?
Yeah, I think so.
Still number one, baby. Hey, still number one in the search and number one in your hearts. So if you want a real website, an even better team who has the patience to walk you through the process and hold your hand and, how do I say this, treat you like a human when it comes to talking about your web presence for your contractor business, give them a call over there. You'll talk with Aaron, the owner, and he'll get you sorted out. Chris, talk to me a little bit today about our first point here, which is suspensions. All right, I know suspensions, I'm getting it in the groups, I'm getting it in my comments, I'm getting it in the emails. Tell me a little bit about what you guys are seeing on the ground.
Yeah, we're seeing just a huge influx of suspensions coming through in general, and really with no rhyme or reason. We're seeing it come from folks who have brand new accounts that have just been created. We've seen it from some folks who have had accounts for years with tons of reviews and tons of credibility. And all of a sudden something happens and they're in their suspension and they disappear completely from the server. And there's really the only fix there, unfortunately, is to work with Google. And like we said, it's been really difficult to do that. So it's definitely been an uphill battle. The benefit with us and with Sarah and with our team is that she is like a wizard when it comes to that stuff. She's got really good recipes for how to contact Google and to work through the processes, identify the potential reason for the suspension and get it remedied. Like you said, all this stuff doesn't happen immediately, especially with Google now. But she definitely has a good recipe and a pathway to get it done the right way instead of possibly losing out on tons of old reviews and previous street cred you had there.
Dude, I know that can be really disheartening, especially for new guys and also for the older guys, some of the guys who maybe don't log into their GMB every day, right? And think about that dude just shuts down and you ain't even You don't even know. You're like, man, it's done dried up out here. Daggone, ain't nobody calling, and you've been suspended for 2 months. Hey, I'll tell you, you need to log in to your stuff. And Sarah's a Jedi over there as well. She's been navigating that GMB water. She's been great. I know I've had her help on some of my stuff as well. Suspensions are wild. I guess that's the only fix for that, right? Is that the only fix, is to kind of her wander through the catacombs with Google and figure it out?
For the most part, starting off on a good foot and making sure you're following all the rules. Anyways, it obviously reduces the possibility for suspension. Not making random changes to your GPB as much as possible, because any change you make is a reason for Google to look at you again and consider a suspension or a change to your account status. But don't poke the beast, number one. But number two, if it does happen, yeah, you've just got to troll through it and trudge through the Google mud and get to it, get it done eventually.
Dude, I have guys ask me, they're like, can I change my name? And I'm like, bruh, no. No. Like, I don't want my name attached to this advice. Like, I don't want to be I'm not the guy who told you to do that. Because Google, I think the name and the address is where correct me if I'm wrong, the name and the address is where they're really have their Gestapo eyes on. And if anything changes there, they're looking to come evaluate it, shall we say.
Yep. They want to make sure that you really are that person. You can't just change your name because you want to. It's got to be for a reason, and Google's going to want to see the paperwork to back that up sometimes.
Absolutely. So number two is, you guys used to be able to create GMBs for guys and gals when they started their business. They come to you, get a website, and now tell me a little bit about, since Google's made some changes, the adjustments you guys have had to make.
Yeah, so it used to be, like I said, we could just, from Footbridge Media is headquartered in Pensacola, Florida. From our offices, we'd be able to create then GMBs, now GPBs. I'll never get used to that. Get those business profiles all set up for you. Now, whether it is because of IP or Google understanding the user's location, it's not really allowing us to do that anymore. Instead, it's much more of a collaborative effort. We are working with contractors and pressure washers to do a walkthrough, basically, to walk through the steps of creating that Google account, getting the account verification completed, and then sharing access to us so that we can continue to manage it. But it's much more collaboration now than it has ever been. Obviously, we love collaborative marketing efforts. We always find that whether it's Google My Business or project posts or any part of our marketing process, the more we work together, the better it works out. But now for Google explicitly for the business profile, it really is a huge collaborative effort of us working together to get all the account creation completed, to get everything live like it should be, all completed on, for the most part, on the contractor's end, and then we can polish it up after the initial setup.
So that's probably because they are tracking IPs a little heavier now. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. It's part of the big crackdown they've done really escalating over the last decade, probably at this point, of them tracking down contractors and people who might set up spammy accounts. Locksmiths were a really heavy target years ago. Google's afraid of getting caught giving bad information out again. It makes sense that if you're a pressure washer in Omaha, maybe someone in Florida shouldn't be setting up your GPP. So they're recognizing that. They're putting a lot more onus in general on contractors and people on location managing your Google My Business account on your phone, interacting on a regular basis. They're really pushing it more consumer side, which I think is part of this trend. That being said, we're still there to help out and make it look great, but on the consumer side, it really starts there now.
Absolutely. So more of a walkthrough, a collaborative effect than just setting it up for you. Obviously, you guys are going to hold their hand and help them through the process. But that's very important to where we can avoid some of the problems that them setting it up nowadays can cause possibly. Third, final point of the day, Chris, let's talk about reviews. The big elephant in the room. Is Google still drunk? Is my question.
It's still, there's moments where it doesn't make any sense. There are moments where people will send in a review. It'll be a first-time Google user. Review goes through instantly, no problem. We have other folks who they watch their client put in the review on their phone, they post it, and then it takes weeks, months, if it ever shows up. There's unfortunately really nothing we can do there to fight that. It's all a numbers game at this point. knowing that Google will have some issues with either delaying or not at all posting reviews, it's now more important than ever to use a review management system to automate your processes as much as possible so that you can just kill getting constant reviews so that you can play the numbers game. So that if you send out 10 requests, you get 5 people to actually complete it. Maybe 3 of those show up. If you just send the one once a week, then you're really cutting yourself down. You're not really giving yourself the chance to succeed with reviews. So really, you got to overdo it to get it done right at all with Google reviews.
It's a damn war of attrition at this point. This is like some red coats, and this is like Boston Tea Party. Like you just stand there and shooting at each other in a line. That's what this is, bro. There is
Yep. You got to mow down as many Google reviews as possible.
That's exactly it. So you're saying that the guys need to, when they're with you guys, they obviously have access to Bird Eye, which is a review solicitation software. They can operate it through their phone, I believe, and send out text messages. Basically, these are automated. It's an automated software that is going to help you solicit reviews, and it's going to follow up on those reviews, and it's also going to mitigate any bad reviews. It'll get those people far away from the Google platform as possible into more of a feedback column, if you will, to where we can avoid some of those bad reviews that might hurt your business. So thank you, Chris, for plugging in. This has been the state of the GPB, right? GBP, right?
Google Business Profile now, yeah.
I don't like that. I'm saying till I die. The GMB, State of the GMB address with Chris Lonergan over at Footbridge Media. Thank you, brother, for tuning in. And guys, give this video a like, give me a subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.